Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, July 12th. I have a meeting announcement. All council meetings will be live streamed on the city website. Well, is the clerk here? I apologize. I thought the clerk was here. Sorry. Yes, we have a quorum, and we have two members online and 3 members present, and Councilman Coghill here too. Will the clerk please call the roll as soon as you get a second to breathe?
Reverend Burgess, Mr. Coghill, Ms. Gross, Mr. Kraus, Mr. Lavelle, Mr.
Here.
Ms. Strasburger,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Mrs. Cal-Smith, President.
Here.
5 members present.
Thank you. As we join from our remote locations, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. And during our moment of silence, can we please keep Ashley Robinson, who works for City Council. She's a clerk, one of the assistant clerks or deputy clerks in the city clerk's office. Her grandmother had passed away about 2 weeks ago, and so we hadn't had a chance. She's welcome back, Ashley, and we're very sorry for your loss of your grandmother. So, and during your moment of silence, please keep her and her family in your prayers. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning, Madam President.
Thank you. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Madam President,
Agenda is amended. Councilman Kraus?
thank you very much. It's very difficult to hear you. I'm not sure if it's on your end or our end, but the volume is very low.
Yeah, I agree. I'm having trouble as well.
Okay, I'll try to speak a little louder while IMP works on the sound.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you for letting us know. And our next order of business is proclamations, and we have one to be presented by Councilman Lavelle. Thank you, Councilman. Do we have 2 for Councilman Lavelle? 2 for Lavelle? 2. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
So I got on the agenda like the writ of election for, okay, this is you telling me, but I think what we got on the agenda is the next step. Because she got on her communication. Get the language correct and give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
So, gentlemen, you could all come up now. I actually have 2 proclamations. Come on up, stage to the left.
Come on, mate. How do I? Come on.
So the first proclamation we're going to read is for the Uptown Little League, which I know many of the gentlemen here today played in. I actually didn't, but I grew up watching and knowing of the league, and a lot of friends of mine actually played in the league. I played for Shadyside Boys and Girls Club, but it was a league that produced tremendous athletes over the years, so we wanted to take a moment to recognize them. Whereas nestled between the corners of Reed Street, Bentley Drive, and Kirkpatrick Street in the Hill District, the Uptown Little League thrived for over 40 years, a history which began in 1953 as a league that provided a nurturing and enriching place for boys and girls to participate in a communal and highly competitive atmosphere to learn the sport of baseball. And whereas the league's home field was located at Kennard Field until the early 1970s, whereby the legendary Mr. Warren K. Branch would move the league's games from Kennard Field to the Powerhouse Field and rename the field to Dr. Martin Luther King Field following the assassination of the late civil rights leader. And whereas in the 1970s, the league's popularity would grow among the youth in the Hill District and throughout the city of Pittsburgh, which resulted in expansion evident in the inclusion of 3 expansion teams and a pony league team for the older youth to continue to play and be nurtured at Kennard Field. Whereas the Uptown Little League's emphasis on ethics, respect for the game, your competition, and for community produced talent unrivaled in the city of Pittsburgh and the state of Pennsylvania, which resulted in several city and District 5 championships and the Pennsylvania State Championship. And whereas the example set forth by Mr. Warren K. Branch and others has resulted in many boys and girls that have gone on to grow and mature into parents and grandparents that provided a nurturing and enriching environment for their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And whereas Mr. Warren K. Branch and others believe that they were not islands unto themselves, but they had an obligation to be the keepers of their brothers, sisters, and children. Now therefore be it resolved that the city of Pittsburgh salutes the Uptown Little League for its commitments to nurture and enrich the lives of the Hill District and the city of Pittsburgh youth in honor of their motto, love and commitment to the idea that the children are the future. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare July 16, 2022 to be Uptown Little League Day in the city of Pittsburgh.
Can we have a motion to approve in a second?
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamation's approved. Congratulations. Councilman Lavelle.
I'm gonna ask,
Some remarks?
yes, ma'am.
Oh, some remarks. Well, on behalf of the many coaches and managers of Uptown Baseball Association from Little League through the Pony League, it was a great opportunity to provide team sports, team building, and it gave them a great time in the summer. I mean, it was something that went from early April all the way through the end of July and sometimes into August with our All-Star games. And I'll tell you what, I spent 20 years, and I regret not a single moment that I spent with so many of these young men now and so many others. It was just a great opportunity. I was proud to have been a part of it, and all of our memories are certainly something that everyone seems to talk about, and I'm just so glad that we have someone recognizing what we have done for the youth of our city. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Anyone else want to give remarks? If not, we'll take a picture and we have another proclamation.
Hello, the interpreters could not hear anything.
Who wants to
We're
get
in
on
recess.
Mr. Harris, please come forward. So now we want to give a proclamation to what I consider a living legend, and I say that with all due respect, because he's a little older than me, but I literally grew up watching him play and revering him. We were from the same neighborhood. I could see him at the local courts, even on the basketball court. It doesn't talk about that. But I can remember going up to Kennard, jam-packed games, and he'd be up there hooping. And so it's just an honor to now stand here and be able to recognize someone from our community who has achieved so much. So, and we're also going to be having a street naming event in his honor later this week as well. Whereas Major Harris was born on February 15th, 1968 in Pittsburgh, residing in Bentley Drive and Elmore Square sections of the Hill District, where he grew up to excel at sports from an early age as a light-out pitcher and a power hitter for the Uptown Little League. And whereas Major Harris earned High School Football Player of the Year at John A. Brashear High School from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, earning him an invite to the Big 33, where he dazzled the crowd once given the opportunity to play. And whereas as a sophomore at West Virginia University, Major led WVU to their first undefeated season and earned ECAC Player of the Year and finished 5th in the Heisman voting, passing for 1,915 passing yards and 14 touchdowns, rushing for 610 yards and 6 touchdowns, totaling 2,348 yards and 20 touchdowns for an average of 8.4 yards per touch. And whereas in 1989, Harris increased his number as a junior, throwing for 2,058 yards and 17 touchdowns and rushing for 936 yards and 6 touchdowns, as he once again was named ECAC Player of the Year and finished 3rd in the Heisman voting. And whereas Harris departed WVU following his junior year for the NFL and did so as one of only 2 quarterbacks in NCAA Division I history to pass for more than 5,000 yards and rush for more than 2,000, leaving WVU as the university all-time leader in total yards with 7,334, a record which stood until 2011. And whereas in 2009, Major Harris was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. In 2010, he was inducted into the Legends of the Sun Bowl, and in 2016, Harris was also named an inaugural member of the Mountaineers Legends Society. And whereas on November 6, 2021, WVU retired Major Harris's number 9 jersey, making him one of 4 jersey numbers retired by the university. Now therefore be it resolved that the city of Pittsburgh salutes Major Harris for his football accomplishments and for being an example for children to follow in the city of Pittsburgh and in the Hill District. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare July 15, 2022 to be Major Harris Day in the city of Pittsburgh.
Can we have a motion to approve in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamation's approved. Congratulations and thank you.
You know, really, I really didn't come with a speech. I really don't got too much to say, but I just want to say this. I want to thank you for the support over the years. Amen. You know what I mean? And because, you know, I was here a couple years ago, and I just wanted to say that. Then I want to definitely thanks for the support of the Uptown Little League. You know, it's funny, as you get older, you really don't be expecting things to come your way. You know, you get older, you just want to ride out in the sunset, so to speak. Then when you get rewarded with different things like that, you can appreciate it more because you really ain't expecting it. And with that, I'd just like to say thank you and thanks for all the support. Thank you.
Many of you may not know this, but Mage and I played on the same team, 1982 city champs, for sure. Bullets at the time. But, you know, so I like to say, you know, I was 2 years older than Major. I like to say that he carried my water for me, but that's not the truth, okay? He was a freak. He was a freak on the field, I got to tell you. We used to enjoy just watching him. We used to go to Mount Lebanon every year, and I think you must have rushed for 300 yards in one game. So, no, Mage, we're all proud of you for sure. Coach Wabi, I know, is proud of you. And I'll tell you, that football team that we had, that brought the Hill District and Beachview and Brookline guys together. And my fondest memories are partying up on the Hill District after we won the city championship. So to this day, some of my best friends are from the Hill District. I tell Dan all the time, I guess we're getting old because this guy grew up watching us. Oh, man. So no. Hey, Mage, well deserved. Congratulations on all your success. And thank you for being here. And thank you, Councilman Lavelle, for recognizing this, again, freak of a talent that we had at Brashear. So.
As we wait for the next proclamation, I just wanted the public know that we were having technical difficulties, and we were going to have to recess our meeting, but we do not have to because our amazing IMP department has fixed the problem. So thank you.
Joey, me and you and him, right?
Let him get one by himself.
Right here. All right, here we go. Yeah, me and Joey. All right.
Councilman Lavelle, you have another proclamation? Just one? Okay. Just one to be read. Could you please read the proclamations to be read into the record, Madam Clerk?
Council President Cal Smith presents Bill Number 603. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, July 12, 2022, to be Urban Agriculture Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Thank you. Is that both of them? The one from Councilman Lavelle? Okay. Can we have a motion to approve in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamation's approved. Thank you. And our next order of business is public comment. And I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before City Council. Threats and profanity will not be permitted. May we have the first speaker, please? And the first registered speaker is Naomi Mullen. Naomi Mullen?
Morning, Teresa.
Good morning, Naomi.
My first topic is regarding the threat to fire and fine city workers. I suggest the following solution. Set up an anonymous online reporting of vaccine status. Respect the privacy of employees the way Duquesne Light does. They've kept the electricity on for us. We need to keep our services going. Set up an anonymous report method. Do not fire well-trained individuals. And shady trees, not shady deals. We have proven with our signatures that we do not accept reapportionment because it would harm the people of our community. We want to stay in District 4. We, the people of Bon Air, have maintained our properties and participated in many functions here. Our community made it extremely clear at our town hall meeting in May of 2021 that we opposed a detrimental property. Join our supporters, Mayor Janey, Councilman Coghill, and State Representative Benham for the creation of a green space. This was read at my husband's funeral. Michael J. Mullen Reflection by Battalion Chief Douglas Kraskovich. Retired Deputy Chief Mike Mullen touched the lives of many people. His uncompromising dedication to his sworn duty to provide for the safety of the citizens of Pittsburgh was truly exceptional and one that should be emulated by every firefighter. He left sharing his knowledge of firefighting in all of its many aspects to make our firefighters safer, smarter, and more efficient on the fire ground. Mike knew most of the firefighters on the entire Pittsburgh Bureau of Fire by their first name and was always approachable regardless of rank. If he had a question, he would stop what he was doing to answer it. He worked tirelessly but also energetically his entire career in pursuit of more knowledge. His legacy will serve our citizens and firefighters for years to come. He was a loving and compassionate husband, father, brother, relative, and friend. Michael J. Mullen lived a full life, as his obituary so accurately described. Mike was passionate, tireless, dedicated, highly conscientious, and caring. Well done, Michael. Well done. Rest in peace, my friend. The Michael Mullen Memorial Green Space is the solution for the peace, safety, and happiness of our community. Michael is now one of the watchers helping from the other side. Shady trees, not shady deals, and Bon Air. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. And our next registered speaker is Pastor Jay Gilbert. Pastor Gilbert, did you want to come to the podium? Just state your name and neighborhood for the record, and then begin. You have 3 minutes to speak.
I think we're at the wrong meeting. I think we might have attended the wrong one.
Okay, that's okay.
So, because if it's in regard to this, I think we hit the wrong one.
Public comment. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. And then I just want to, can I make sure I call your wife's name just because it's on the record and I don't want to.
Sure.
And so, Tiffany Gilbert, do you wish to relinquish your time as well?
No, that is correct. We are referring to the censoring of PRCs.
Okay, thank you.
So,
we're going to have the Sergeant at Arms. Will you please help them see where they need to be? Thank you. And then we'll go on to our additional registered speakers with Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller. Dr. Miller?
Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller, Belsuver, Abuja, Tokyo, Brasilia, Roma, Global Intelligence Society, U.S. National Candidate for the Presidency 2024, globalintelligencesociety.org. Our goal is vote by voter verification nationwide and worldwide, overcome authoritarianism. Global intelligence fuses the disciplinary intelligences and informational matrices of the 21 primary disciplines to solve problems, and one of these problems is security. A concern of the U.S. Congress is national security, of the Pennsylvania General Assembly is state security, and the concern clearly of Pittsburgh City Council is local security. In our view, Pittsburgh is insecure. It is a concern of mine and the GIS. On security, we propose the following. I did so in 2014 at Pittsburgh City Council, in May 2014, and Allegheny County public comment, June 2014. I think that we should create a fortress Pennsylvania, and within it, a fortress Pittsburgh, a wall on the interior of boundary of our state and our city, 1 mile or 1.6 kilometers at $20 million per mile. This is before Trump and his, what we view as idiotic wall. One, the upper side or surface of the wall should be 30 meters or 99 feet wide for a highway capable of transporting cars, drones, tanks, able to be lowered and raised via Pittsburgh-based hydraulic system. To the lower subsurface wall would be space for a maglev system that would link all 5 PA regions and all 9 Pittsburgh council districts. 3, the wall would have towers every 20 kilometers or 12.5 miles. The wall would be able to intercept missiles and drones, to shield Pennsylvanians or Pittsburghers from sub-gamma radiation, to neutralize dangerous chemicals, sterilize deadly microorganisms by releasing microbicides. 5, the wall would be able to stop and start transmission of economic and financial trade data that operates in milliseconds. 6, the wall would have solar panels along each side of the surface roadway for power. The wall would provide a landline cable foundation for a gated Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh intranet. This fortress of Pittsburgh would not be a publicly but privately funded work. And I advocate this for all of our states and all of our major cities.
Thank you. And our next registered speaker is Bernadette Mosey. I don't see Bernadette here today. Is Bernadette online? She's online. Bernadette? Okay.
I'm here.
There you go. Yes, good morning. Please state your name and neighborhood for the record, and you have 3 minutes to make your comments. Thank you.
My name is Bernadette. I'm from Beachview. First, I would be remiss if I did not thank Anthony Coghill for all the work that he has done and is doing for our area. But I apologize for not coming. Grandma's not superhuman. When I care for sick grandbabies, apparently I can catch it. Anyway, I promised several people at Ormsby that I would speak today. The other day, in my sundress, I needed to go to the ladies' room. There is no handicapped bathroom. You got a beautiful ramp that goes up there. You have a handicapped lift chair that goes into the water. I had to get down and scoot myself down a pair of steps to the basement. I spoke to another man who was in a wheelchair at the park, and he said he holds it. The men have to go upstairs. He's a veteran. You have a disability senior high-rise just down on the next block. What are we doing? My solution, I know they have portable potties that are equipped to receive wheelchairs. It should only be used for those that are disabled. I was embarrassed that I had to scoot down on my buttocks to go up and down the steps, and the railing was loose, by the way. It's a beautiful, beautiful pole, but we're not meeting the needs of those that you're servicing. You can have so many of the seniors coming. I can't imagine what they're doing. Are they getting into the water and relieving themselves? It's a possibility. Please address this. I don't think I can remember any other pole that does not have an ADA bathroom. I could be wrong, but I suggest that they get the powers to be, go and do a tour of all the pools, make sure. I know Moore does, I know Northside, or what do you call it, Sue Murray has the same tour. I know Highland Park does, but Ormsby does not. And there's no excuse that we have our veterans and elderly and disabled individuals climbing steps. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next registered speaker is Amy Teresa Compatore. Is Amy Teresa Compatore online?
Good day, Council.
Good morning.
Amy Compatore from District 1, Ward 24, Presley Street, High Rise, East Allegheny. May it please the Council, what we have today is a crisis of values, mores, norms, and ethics. Normally, I speak on housing and transit matters the most. However, this goes beyond matters of housing and transit. Housing and transit are very important parts of developing and maintaining happy and healthy communities. How neighbors and fellow citizens interact and communicate with each other is essential to the health and well-being of our community. Senseless violence, whether with AR-15s in our communities, such as Trio LifeWise, or with robberies, domestic violence, or ethical violence upon a woman's right to control her own body and her own health care. We must assess how these things affect Pittsburgh. Not just our own little box of Pittsburgh, but all of Pittsburgh. We must treat each other with the kindness and respect that every human being and every Pittsburgher is deserving of. Cities, by their very nature, offer services and abilities that those who are in financial need, whether below the poverty line or above it, need to survive. Some people take into account how close hospitals and doctors are. Some also took into consideration how close we were to the Social Security Office, a transit agency, or how many bus stops, because we did not want to get stranded. Yet, we continue to be stranded by transit. So many of us are no longer being represented adequately in our community. This has contributed to businesses going out of business. When transit is no longer reliable, no longer coming on time for 2, 3, or more buses in a row, people who do have jobs, their jobs are put in jeopardy because the transit system fails them. They get dismissed because the bus can't get there on time. Business loses a worker, 2 families suffer. the family of the owner for losing a worker, and the family of the employee who did their best to get to work, but transit failed them. This only adds to the lack of safety and integrity of our communities. A July 6th Lawrence O'Donnell podcast on Spotify cited threats to congressional lawmakers in the U.S. House and Senate are up 144%. Pause for a moment. Consider to what percentage violence is up in our local communities by local people who, in an ideal world, would be good neighbors to each other, we hope. We lack feeling safe in our communities. When people don't feel safe, their behavior is heightened and on guard even more. Then go to measures that normally they would not consider. COVID's only added to this. The same constitutional right that protected women's bodies is also the one that ATU 85 needed to assert its position regarding driver vaccinations. Without Roe v. Wade, their argument with management is mute. For the same protection that was given to women's bodies was...
Thank you. Your time is up. Our next speaker, and we're going to go back to our two registered speakers. There was a clarification, so we'll go to Tiffany Gilbert first. Thank you.
Thank you. As you stated, my name is Tiffany. I'm native of Pittsburgh, along with my parents. My father grew up in Northview Heights. My mother grew up on the north side of Pittsburgh. So my roots and relationships run deep here in the city. So naturally, I have a heart for the city and the people. So it was severely imperative that I be here today to share factual opposition to a proposal that not only violates the law, but coerces a group of people to speak messages that go against their mission. Currently, my husband and I, we pastor a church in Mount Washington, but more than that, we founded a pregnancy center, a women's center in East Liberty. We are, listen to this, we are one of two that I'm aware of that these centers are run by people of color, two, and we are one of them. I currently hold the position of executive director. My question to you is that, do you know what we do? Do you know that what we advertise is actually what we do? Fact. As it relates to deceptive advertising, there are many laws already in place to restrict deceptive advertising. We are not violating any of these laws. Do you know how many women and families we have helped through our economic self-reliance program and partnering with city organizations? Do you know how many diapers and baby items we gave to women and families? Do you know how many women we were able to assist in getting off drugs? Do you know how many free baby showers we have given? Do you know how many free ultrasound referrals we have provided? Do you know how many free pregnancy tests we gave out? Do you know how many educational courses we facilitated? Do you know how many women have received help from our licensed therapists? Do you know how many meals we were given away during the winter? Do you know how many young women we have helped with housing? Do you know how many people thanked us in the community for being in their neighborhood? Do you know how many community partners we have? Do you know what we do? If you cannot provide an answer to that aforementioned question, then essentially you are going into this blindly proposing this type of legislation that will ultimately tear down, destroy, and misplace many of the community members. In addition, council should be aware that there will be legal implications at great cost to the people of Pittsburgh. Council should also be aware that pregnancy centers are private funded religious charities that provide medical services and material needs, saving the city and the state countless thousands of dollars each year. My proposal is, can we
Thank you. Your time's expired. I'm sorry. Thank you. You can submit, if you have comments you'd like to submit to City Council, you can submit them to the clerk's office. And Pastor Gilbert?
As you said, yes, I am Pastor Jay Gilbert of Another Level Ministries, and I'm here as well to discuss this matter. It's amazing to me when you hear about the big battle. Everybody's, I'm sure, seen it on CNN and seen it on MSNBC or whatever news station. It's a big battle right now between pro-choice and pro-life. We are definitely pro-life in our actions, and we believe in preserving the nuclear family, and that's what we do. There's no deceptive advertising at all that we do. We stand for what we stand for. And as my wife mentioned, we are here to help with those families from the womb to the tomb. And I believe that this whole thing about deceptive advertising is nothing more to silence and to censor us from doing what it is that we are called to do. You know, we're here today because we believe in the freedom of speech. Well, we have that opportunity, and we shouldn't be censored on how we should have to advertise. And as my wife also mentioned as well, that there are many laws out there that already show us what it is that is considered deceptive advertising and things along that line, but we are not violating any of those. And so to propose this, it would only affect those that are not serving abortions or referring for abortions. So in technicality, it's actually just targeting those that are for life. And that's what we're about, and that's what we're doing here. And so we wanted to come here to let you all know. I hope that you will do your research. There are many people that are they're for pro-choice. And this is what's amazing to me. People talk about all the time how they're pro-choice, but they're afraid to give people options. One of the things that we do, we don't force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. But just like it is, if you take a look at those different, they have different advertisements for medications. What do they say on the bottom? All the different types of side effects. We educate on abortion. We educate on what it's going to look like to keep your baby. We educate, and we also empower these women and men and sit down with them to help them saying, listen, aborting or murdering your baby is not your only option. There are other things you can do. And at the end of the day, they have the right to make whatever decision they see fit. And that's what we do. And to put this law of deceptive advertising in place, we feel that it is completely an injustice, and it maligns what it is that we are doing, which is simply educating and empowering others to know their options. And think about it. Anybody that says they're pro-choice should never be afraid of educating people on their options. How can you be pro-choice but not allow people to hear all the different options that they may have? That's what we do. That's what we are about. And we are here to save the family, to educate the family, to empower the family, to help women that need jobs. Whatever they need, we are empowering them, and we're educating them, because there are many, many different side effects from abortion that a lot of women don't know. And they go into it blindly. And when they come out, they're hurting and they're in despair because nobody has educated them. So thank you so much for the time to be able to share with you what has been on our hearts.
Thank you. And I do want to also thank you for your work across Allegheny County during the pandemic. Your church fed families through the Food Policy Council all over Allegheny County. Thank you. That said, that exhausts our list of registered speakers. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address City Council? Good morning, Mr. Brentley. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see. Mr. Brentley.
Good morning, members of council. Mark Brentley Sr. I'm going to talk very fast because this 3 minutes goes very fast. Mark Brentley Sr., a former Pittsburgh School Board member and former city employee. Also, I was here in April with over 100 men kicking off the Pittsburgh Public Schools' 24th annual Take a Father to School. By the way, it was held in May, and it was a success with over 4,000 men came out and supported their families. But I'm here today asking for your consideration or some intervention for two different agencies that you have. About 2 years ago, I was here and I held up to you a document. I'm a city employee, terminated 3 years ago. I held up a document that I believe the city and Public Works were using then and still may be using. It was a last chance agreement document. Make a long story short, forced to sign it. It is anti-union because you get the guys off the union for a year. Some tried to intervene. It didn't work. I had to file. I'm in federal court now. The reason why I'm here today is because in the midst of filing in federal court, out of nowhere, many of you know I ran for city council about 2 years ago, and all of a sudden your ethics committee came up with a violation. They took me to court and found this and found this. At one point they said I owed them, I think, $15,000. I actually raised about $3,000, but that's what the fee they moved. Okay, we'll take $3,000. Okay, now we'll take about $2,160. July 4th weekend, we got a knock on the door by the Allegheny County Deputy Sheriff coming to get $2,160 for me and my family. I was not there. He said, I'll be back. I said, what happens? I'll make a list of what you have here. We will then assess the value, and then the City of Pittsburgh Ethics Committee has a right to come in and to take our valuables. Over violation they said that I made during running for city council. First of all, I'm here to ask you to look at this ethics committee. What is it? How can one woman have so much power to come in and to ask for a writ of execution based upon previous people who disagreed with the previous administration? How can it move forward? Who does that? How can I go from $16,000? Okay, we'll take $2,000. You know, at some point, African Americans should have the right to live and to benefit in this city without harassment. The second one that I've asked you about is what I mentioned, the LCA, and I asked you for it, and I'm asking again. There's a section in there, and I'm not going to read it, but I'll just tell you what it says. The last chance agreement simply says that once they get you to sign it, there's a section that says, now that I am an admitted substance abuser, I disagree with most of you on politics. I don't drink and I don't smoke. I'm in federal court fighting an issue because somebody said all African Americans drink, we're all substance abuser, and we're all violent. We are not, and I'm asking
Thank you,
for
Mr. Brenton.
some intervention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Brenton.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to address City Council? Please come forward. Well, Ms. Brown, were you coming? Okay, I'm sorry. Why don't you please approach the podium? No. Stop. Sergeant Arms. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Personal testimony to share, but also I'm a professional nurse. I've worked in Allegheny County hospitals.
Please state your name and neighborhood for the record, and then you begin.
Anna Del Duca, Sutersville, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm also a member of APLOG, the associate member in American Association of Pro-Life Obstetricians and Gynecologists, the group Silent No More, which is an abortion awareness association, and Restorers of Streets to Dwell in Pittsburgh. But I wanted to just share, although that I had numerous struggles before choosing abortion, my reality after the killing of my own child was almost unbearable. I numbed myself with alcohol and drugs, which led me to commit greater evils, defiled my spirit, mind, and body with extreme transgressions, and grave sexual sins, and sadly made my bed in Sheol with Satan blaspheming the Lord. God was there with me in that evil place when I returned to him, and I was very repentant. He forgave me, though for many years I did not feel forgiven. Now that I am assured that my sins are forgiven by God, and who Jesus paid the price for my sins, I am made right with God forever by receiving in faith his wonderful grace. I accept God's compassionate promise of eternal life, and I give him the thanksgiving. And Jesus says that likewise there is more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than 99 just persons who have no need of repentance. And God did not come in the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through his son Jesus. And Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And I say that, I start that to go on to share that, like I said, I worked in the hospitals in Allegheny County as a professional nurse for the last 26 years, concentrating in critical care and perioperative anesthesia. Our Silent No More gatherings have been held in 17 countries, all 50 states, with nearly 7,000 men and women sharing their abortion regret testimonies. We have over 3,000 testimonies on our website that are shared via video. And I'm privileged to maintain an associate member with APLOG, who is the preeminent medical voice who informs the community, policymakers, and the public on the importance of declining to use death as a therapeutic option, respects the dignity of all human life, and prohibits the taking of a life by a medical practitioner. APLOG serves to make known the evidence-based effects of abortion on women with the goal that all women will be empowered to make healthy, life-affirming choices. Obstetricians at APLOG are accustomed to saving the tiniest lives, performing intrautero fetal surgeries, saving both lives of mom and child. And these surgeries began in the 1960s, and they're still practiced today with great success. And I serve at RSDI Pitt, a street and online ministry that serves to protect life.
Thank you. Thank you. Your time's expired. You can leave if you have comments or testimony that you'd like to leave with City Council. You can give it to our Sergeant at Arms, and he'll
Okay,
share it
thank
with
you.
us,
I
or the clerk.
pray that you guys would choose life in this.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers before City Council? Any further speakers? Good morning, Ms. Brown. Thank you for always being so kind to the speakers in front of you.
My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live in the Hill District. And I would like to explain the reason why I let people speak ahead of me. I can sit all day if someone is going to speak, because I really praise people who come down and speak to let the people know what's happening in this district. Now, we had the hearing July the 7th about Wilkinsburg becoming part of Pittsburgh. When I went to speak, I was told I had 1 minute. Now, I was really upset, and I said I protest because I did sign up with Denise. Now, you know before how she treated me, and I took and made a complaint against her. This time, I don't blame Denise. We have our clerk who seems to be upset when I take, and there's no proclamations or whatever, and I go in there, and I give them to the people, and I come in there. I heard her when I went in there, oh, that Miss Brown gave them out. Why do you have these here? Why are these papers here if I can't give them out, or if the people don't know what to do with them? I asked you years ago to put a sign here that says, take one. They don't know to take one, and I deliver them, I give them to the people, and then I'm talked down to this very toxic back there for me, because I still say that you, City Council, do not respect the black women, me, and women and men of color. I can say that because of the way I've been treated. I sponsored a bill. I'm supposed to get 5 minutes. Mr. Kraus said there's only 2 speakers. I said, well, who is the mysterious sponsor? I only got 3 minutes. I should have had 5. I have gotten so that even Mr. Burgess, when he takes and says that my grandbaby, who's 5 years old, can speak, he has no business speaking here. But I can hear him brag about somebody that's 5 years old and how grown they are. My grandchild, I am teaching her how to be how to do her civic duty, and that's to tell you what we need, not what you think you want to give us. I am demanding that when I sign up, even if Ashley's not here, somebody else should have signed me up. I asked to speak because my son is dead because 5 cops from Wilkinsburg police let him lay there on the floor, and he's saying, I have 1 lung, and he's bleeding from his head. He's bleeding, and nobody will call the first responders. When they do call and the paramedics come, those police pronounced him dead, and they write down, but the paramedics insisted upon working on them. Do you understand? Even when they brought someone to help him, they tried to stop him. And my son is dead.
Thank you for your testimony, Ms. Brown. Is there any further speakers wishing to address City Council? Any further speakers? Any further speakers? Seeing no further speakers, we'll move on to our next order of business, which is the presentation of papers, and we'll begin with Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Chair of Urban Recreation. Councilman Coghill for Councilman Burgess, please.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Works Services.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 582, resolution providing for an agreement with Swank Construction Company, LLC, for the construction phase of the 30th Street Bridge Preservation Project and providing for the payment of costs not to exceed $1,950,000. Bill number 583, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement with the Board of Public Education of the School District of Pittsburgh for the Board of Public Education to grant to the city of Pittsburgh its successors and assigns the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at the city's own cost and expense a ball playing field to be located on the grounds of the Pittsburgh Phase-In K-5 school at 7430 Toga Street in the 13th Ward. Bill number 584, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement with the Southside Community Council for the city of Pittsburgh to grant to the Southside Community Council its successors and assigns the privilege and license to improve and maintain Esser Plaza, located at 1200 East Carson Street in the 17th Ward.
Thank you. And Councilman Concord, you have a motion to waive the rules of council for bills 582, 583, and 584. Do you wish to make that motion?
Yes, Madam President. Motion to waive the rules of council on bills 582, 583, and 584, please.
Thank you. We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? The
Aye.
bills will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you. And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs. Good morning, Councilwoman.
Morning.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 585, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the proposed Meridian development located at 6320 Shakespeare Street.
Thank you. And Councilman Kraus, Chair of Human Resources.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill number 605, resolution further amending resolution number 93 entitled, providing for an agreement or use of existing agreements and/or contracts for the purchase of materials, supplies, equipment, and/or services for various projects in connection with the City Council Neighborhood Needs Program in Council District 3, and providing for the payment of costs by transferring $2,500 to the Hilltop Alliance. Total cost of all District 3 neighborhood needs projects is not to exceed $51,943.77. Bill number 606, resolution further amending and supplementing Resolution 855 entitled, adopting and approving the 2012 capital budget by transferring $2,500 to Hilltop Alliance within District 3 neighborhood needs.
Thank you. And Councilman Kraus, you have a waiver of rules for bills 605, 606. Do you wish to make that motion?
Yes, I do. Motion to waive the rules so that 605 and 606 may appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I should have said any discussion. Okay, the bills will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law. Thank you, Councilman. Good morning.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 586, resolution authorizing the mayor to receive grant funding and technical assistance from cities from Financial Empowerment Fund, Inc. for the 2022 cohort of the Financial Empowerment Cities, intended to create an Office of Financial Empowerment in the amount of $170,000. Bill number 587, resolution authorizing the mayor and deputy chief of staff to receive grant funding from the Hines Endowment to hire an education coordinator for 24 months in the amount of $175,000 and authorizing expenditures for this stated purpose. Bill number 588, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Meyer, Unkovich, and Scott for expert legal services related to litigation in the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania in the amount not to exceed $250,000. Bill number 589, resolution providing for the mayor and director of the Department of Finance and/or the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a lease, sublease, and/or subleases for approximately 8,000 square feet from the leaseor, the housing authority of the city, for the purpose of providing office space for employees of the Department of Planning and the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspections, located within the city's First Ward at 100 Ross Street, effective on or about September 1st, 2022, for a one-year period with an option to extend and providing for the payment thereof.
Thank you. And Councilman Lavelle, you have a request to waive the rules of council for
Yes.
several bills?
For bills 586, 587, 588, and 589.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? The
Aye.
bills will appear. Thank you. The bills will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you, Councilman. And Chair of Public Safety Services is myself at this moment. So, and there's no bills there, correct, Madam? Okay. No, Public Safety, okay. And then Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 590, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to enter on behalf of the city into a professional services agreement with Open Innovation Plans, LLC, for records management software services at a cost not to exceed $104,944.60.
President,
Thank you. Yes, Madam Councilwoman.
motion to waive the rules of council so that Bill 590 appears on tomorrow's agenda.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The bill will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you, Councilwoman, for voting. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 591, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of permits, licenses, and inspection on behalf of the city for the issuing of a warrant in favor of Noralco Corporation for producing a structural demolition plan for 209 First Avenue at a cost not to exceed $10,550. Bill number 592, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title IX Zoning Code Article 1, Zoning Map Article 2, Base Zoning District Chapter 904, Mixed Use Districts Article 4, Planning District Chapter 908, Public RAM Districts Article 5, Use Regulations Chapter 911, Primary Uses Section 91102, Use Table in Section 91104, Use Standards Article 6, Development Standards Chapter 914, Parking, Loading, and Access, Chapter 915, Environmental Performance Standards in Chapter 919, Signs, and Article 8, Review and Enforcement, Chapter 922, Development Review Procedures, and Article 9, Chapter 926, Definitions, to create 3 new base zoning districts and other zoning amendments. Bill number 593, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of City Planning to enter into an agreement with the Hines Endowment for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in the amount of $50,000 to develop a strategic plan. Bill number 594, resolution providing for an agreement with Northside Christian Health Center in an amount not to exceed $90,220.54 as part of the 2019 City Council Public Service Grant Program. Bill number 595, resolution authorizing and directing the Pittsburgh City Controller to perform an audit of the City of Pittsburgh related intergovernmental authorities' compliance with the Service Worker Prevailing Wage Ordinance.
Thank you. And Councilman, you have a motion to waive the rules? A request?
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to waive the rule of council so that it appears so that 591, Bill 591, Bill 594, and also Bill 595 appear on our standing committee agenda tomorrow.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The bills will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you.
Thank you.
And myself, Chair of Hearings, we have 2 resolutions and 2 communications. Let's take the resolutions first, Madam Clerk, please. Oh, sorry.
Council President Kel Smith presents Bill number 596, resolution approving the recommendation made by the Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure that the concrete portion of Old Oak Drive located in Banksville be paved with asphalt in accordance with Section 41706 of the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances. Bill number 602, resolution amending Resolution 176, authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to execute relevant grant agreements to receive funding from Allegheny County Health Department to develop a public health-informed diversion program and further providing for expenditures under the terms of said agreement to correct the amount authorized by the grant agreement and the amount authorized for expenditures.
Pardon me? Okay. Yeah, you want to take this first? Okay. What's the motion for this one? Is there a motion? Yeah, want to do the communications? Yeah, there's no.
Council President also presents Bill number 597, communication from Sarah Kenter, Director of the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspection, submitting PLI's amended Title VII Business Licensing Rule. Bill number 598, communication from Jeff Pollack, Director of Office of Management and Budget, submitting acting pay approval on behalf of the Commission on Human Relations for Rachel Shepard, per the acting pay policy revised in June of 2018. Bill number 604, communication from Council President Teresa Kell Smith, directing the City Clerk Brenda Pree to submit the writ of elections of the vacancy of Council District 5 to the Allegheny County Board of Elections.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Motion to read, receive, and file 597, 598, and 604.
Thank you, Councilman. A second? Could we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Or should we take the roll call, Madam Clerk? Yeah. Okay, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The bills are approved. Thank you, Councilman, for your motions there. And now we'll move on to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business before City Council? Seeing none, it's now time for reports of committee for final action. We'll begin with Councilman Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law. Councilman?
Madam President.
Thank you. Did it request a roll wait? Yeah, so can I just, we already voted, so no. Okay. 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 Can we reconsider, a motion to reconsider bills 596 and 602?
Motion to do such.
Thank you, Councilman. Do we have a second?
Second.
And any discussion? I'll just say that, thank you, Madam Clerk. It was not on my agenda, but she made sure she caught it, and we have to waive the rules of council on behalf of the administration.
So, Madam President, a motion to waive Rule 8 on Bill 596 and Bill 602 so that they may appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda.
Thank you, Councilman. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The bills will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Councilman, for helping me through that. And now we move on to, did we read Councilman Lavelle's?
Yep.
Okay.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 577. Report of the Committee on Finance and Law for July 6 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 452. Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Lynette Letterman in the amount of $4,000. Bill number 503. Resolution authorizing 5 open-end professional services agreement with multiple vendors to provide professional services on an on-call basis as required, related to traffic signal and street light design services as needed by the various departments of the city. Each agreement being at an amount not to exceed $500,000 annually for a 2-year term with up to 2 additional 1-year options, and providing for funding at the cost thereof. Bill number 504, resolution authorizing 4 open-end professional services agreement with multiple vendors to provide professional services on an on-call basis as required, related to traffic signal and street light design services as needed by the various departments of the city, each agreement being in an amount not to exceed $2,500,000 annually for a 2-year term with up to 2 additional 1-year options, and providing for funding of the cost thereof. Bill number 505, resolution further amending resolution number 797 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2018 Capital Budget, 2018 CDBG Program, and the 2018 through 2023 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill 506, resolution further amending resolution number 886 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2022 Capital Budget, the 2022 CDBG Program, and the 2022 through 2027 Capital Improvement Program by reappropriating and reallocating funds closed due to the requirements of Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 507, resolution further amending resolution number 796 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2014 Capital Budget and the 2014 CDBG Program, and approving the 2014 through 2019 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 508, resolution further amending resolution number 816 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2016 Capital Budget and the 2016 CDBG Program, and approving the 2016 through 2021 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 509, resolution further amending resolution number 772 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2017 Capital Budget and the 2017 through 2022 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 510, resolution further amending resolution number 863 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2019 Capital Budget and the 2019 CDBG Program, the 2019 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 511, resolution further amending resolution number 840 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2020 Capital Budget and the 2020 CDBG Program and the 2020 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 512, resolution further amending resolution number 781 entitled Adopting and Approving the 1999 Capital Budget and the 1999 CDBG Program and the 1999 through 2004 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 513, resolution further amending resolution number 675 entitled Adopting and Approving the 2009 Capital Budget and approving the 2009 through 2013 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 514, resolution further amending resolution number 768 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2010 Capital Budget and the 2010 CDBG Program, and approving the 2010 through 2014 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 515, resolution further amending resolution number 855 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2012 Capital Budget, the 2012 CDBG Program, and approving the 2012 through 2017 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 516, resolution further amending resolution number 772 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2013 Capital Budget and the 2013 CDBG Program, and approving the 2013 through 2018 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code. Bill number 517, resolution further amending resolution number 858 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2015 Capital Budget and the 2015 CDBG Program, and approving the 2015 through 2020 Capital Improvement Program by removing unencumbered funds from projects pending closure pursuant to Chapter 218 of the City Code.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of their passage will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 7, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 578, report of the Committee on Public Works for July 6 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 498, resolution further amending resolution number 797 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2018 Capital Budget, 2018 CDBG Program, and the 2018 through 2023 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Smallman Street reconstruction by $976,361.23, increasing slope failure remediation by $550,000, and increasing by $426,361.23. Bill number 499, resolution further amending resolution number 863 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2019 Capital Budget, 2019 CDBG Program, and the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Smallman Street reconstruction by $73,638.77 and increasing complete streets by $73,638.77. Bill number 500, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Finance and the director of the Department of Public Works on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement or agreements with the University of Pittsburgh, granting the University of Pittsburgh a temporary construction easement and permanent easement in order to permit the implementation of a comprehensive stormwater management strategy for the benefit of Shinley Park on, under, and about a certain parcel known as the Mazeroski Field, located within Shinley Park in the 4th Ward of the city. Bill number 539, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to apply for grant funding from the Redevelopment Authority of Allegheny County's Trail Development Fund for the reconstruction of a trail in Upper McKinley Park in the amount of $256,793 for this stated purpose.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 7, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. That moves us on to Councilman Bobby Wilson, Committee on Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Also, Madam President,
Yes.
may I register aye votes on all remaining bills that are on the agenda for final action?
Madam Clerk.
So noted.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 579, report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for July 6, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 531, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code Title 7 Business Licenses, Article 5, Trade Occupations, Chapter 751, General Contractor Registration 75104, duties, by adding language to require registered contractors to maintain certain records and documentation related to subcontractors.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 7, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management. We've been keeping that committee pretty busy all week. I just want to thank them for their work, that department. Thank you.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 580, report of the Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management for July 6, 2002, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 521, resolution amending resolution number 855, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into a Fourth Amendment to Corporation and Project Agreement for the creation and operation of the Regional Data Center Agreement with Allegheny County and the University of Pittsburgh, extending the term and increasing the amount.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 7, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And this moves us on to Councilwoman Deborah Gross, Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs, our last committee of the day. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Councilwoman. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 581, report of the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs for July 6, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 501, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the 300, 302, 306, 308, 312, 314, 318, 320 North St. Clair Street.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross. Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 7, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And moves us on to motions and resolutions. And I just have a few meeting announcements. Oh, wait. Councilman Kraus first has a small game of chance.
I believe that's Councilman Coghill.
Yeah,
No,
that's
is it
what, did I
me?
say Coghill?
I apologize.
Councilman Coghill.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilman Coghill.
Thank you, Councilman.
Motion to approve small game of chance?
Do you want Madam
It
Clerk
needs
to
be
read it?
read first.
Please read it, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 601. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh hereby recognizes the Pittsburgh Young Professionals to be a civic and/or service organization within the context of the Pennsylvania Small Games of Chance Act as amended.
Thank you. Can we have a motion to approve in a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. The motion's approved. And now we move on to our meeting announcements. We have this afternoon at 12 p.m. Council will hold a cablecast public hearing on Bill 502 as it relates to the approval of an intermunicipal transfer of a restaurant liquor license for Szechuan Spice Incorporated. Speaker registration closes at 10 a.m. Also, this afternoon at 1:30 p.m., Council will hold a cablecast public hearing on Bill 411 relative to the historic designation of the Troy Hill Firehouse located at 1800 Lee Street, 24th Ward. Speaker registration closes at 11 a.m. And today, with sessions at 2 and 3, Council will hold briefings on Bill 270 relative to short-term rentals. Tomorrow, Wednesday, July 13th at 10 a.m., Council will hold our standing committees meeting. Speaker registration closes at 9 a.m. Wednesday. Wednesday, July 13th at 1 p.m., Council will hold an executive session relative to the rules of council from Council's attorney regarding legal matters. Also, on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m., Council will hold an executive session relative to Bills 518 and 519. To register to speak at these meetings and hearings, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage by the meeting deadline. You may also call the city clerk's office at 412-255-2138. And with that said, is there anything from members? I just want to congratulate our colleague, Councilman O'Connor, who was appointed as the county controller this week. his office staff has taken amazing steps to make sure that there's not a step missed while their office is vacant. During that vacancy, it is filled by the council president along with the help of the clerk's office. And I will talk to IMP today about how we're going to move forward with some of that stuff, and Madam Clerk. But I want to thank his office staff for making sure that we were aware of all the bills and everything that needed to come before public safety. And before, I think in the next, when we return, we'll probably have some reapportion or reassigning of some of the committees. So we'll address that when we return from our break. And I think that I just do want to thank our Sergeant at Arms, our clerk's office, INP, and everyone who's been working really hard on trying to help us. We've had a lot of changes on our floor, a lot of new hires, a lot of people changing positions, and a lot of people exiting. And they have helped us through all that process and somehow managed to keep it all straight. So I just want to thank them all and thank the members for their help through the whole process and for constantly being available for interviewing and the things that they've helped us with too. And I do want to say that we heard public comment. We do hear what people say. There were some points brought up, and we'll make sure that we address those. And when we return from council's break, that those things are addressed. And the other thing is that we had we sent the writ of election. We voted today, which, Madam Clerk, would you want to talk to the public, just briefly tell them the process so that they know what's going to happen with Councilman O'Connor's seat with the writ of election process?
So the writ of election will be submitted to the County Board of Elections on tomorrow. And given the timeline to the next general, it will be on the general election November 8th. So that's pretty much.
Thank you.
Makes sense.
Thank you, thank you, Madam Clerk. Anything else from members? We will honor Councilman O'Connor and his staff next Tuesday at our last meeting before break. With that said, can I have a motion to excuse the absent members, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.